text that has nothing to do with shaitanic activity, it is general, mentions nature, mentions anything neutral and natural. That text is permissible. Not only permissible, you can use it with singing also. Now, so when we talk about music, as I said, there is two things. There is the singing of text and there is the use of musical instrument. Now comes a little bit delicate, and this is a little bit more controversial. The use of musical instrument with that singing. Here you see, the use of musical instrument with the singing, here you see the difference of opinion among scholars. Here, up to here, the scholars will say yes. Everyone up to here agrees. Everyone up to here unanimously agrees with what I said. The use of good text and sing without musical instrument, they always say yes. But when you involve musical instrument, then you must understand that there is difference of opinion. Some scholars they allow it, some scholars they prohibit it. And here again you must understand both opinions we must respect. Both opinions we must have respect. Even if you disagree, even if you say, no, I don't disagree with this absolutely, even you disagree with other, you say, okay, I disagree with that, but I accept that this opinion also is among Muslims, among scholars. Now the opinion, as I said, that I have, I want to mention that, is the use of musical instrument, I do not consider it absolutely prohibited, haram, absolutely prohibited. I do not consider that prohibited, absolutely. It depends, according to my understanding that Allah has given me, and I will mention the ahadith. It depends. It depends on what? It does not depend on the musical instrument. Some scholars they say it depends on the musical instrument. I disagree with that. I say with respect, I disagree. For me, all musical instruments are the same. Some scholars they say you can only use daf. Only use daf. Some scholars they say no, you can also use other instruments. He did not say only daf is allowed. He never said so. Number two, in the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the Arabian Peninsula, which musical instruments were found? You will see that guitar was not there, harmonium was not there, many other piano was not there. It was not invented to them. They did not have it there. It was not part of the culture. They only had drum. So they used what they had. And the Prophet ﷺ allowed that. So what happens is that the best understanding is that, as for example in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, certain things he did not have because of the time, the era, the society he was living in. Transport, for example, we have different means of transport than the time of Rasulullah ﷺ. It doesn't mean that you can only use that medium of transport of Rasulullah ﷺ. You can only go on Hajj with a camel, a horse or a donkey. No. If you have plane, you can go with plane. If there is boat, ship, you can go with ship. If you have camel, you can go with camel. It depends. So the use of musical instruments should not be limited to daf only. Because if you limit it only by daf, using the argument that in the time of Rasulullah ﷺ, this was only used, nothing else, then you must apply the same ruling on other aspects of Islam, deen as well. Then deen will become difficult to practice. You understand this point? Now the next thing. Which musical instruments are allowed? My view is any musical instrument is allowed, provided it is used with good poetry, good text that praises Allah and the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Text that is good, talks about the blessings of Almighty Allah. And the same thing if you use musical instrument for anything else, or listen to music that has musical beats and also text that is qabih, evil, Hollywood the type of music, Bollywood the type of music, all of that talks about the worldly things, haram, the women, the alcohol, all that, drugs, all that is haram. There is no question and debate on that. That is absolutely haram. But when you have music like Mahir Zain, you have heard of Mahir Zain? You have heard of Sami Yusuf? All these munshids, they use nasheeds. And sometimes these nasheeds have nothing to do with Allah and the Prophet ﷺ. They are, for example, the love of the mother, or the love for a husband to the wife, which is halal, permissible relation. Then such nasheeds with musical instruments are allowed. But the scholars, they have even then put restrictions. Like Khwaja Muinuddin Chishti Ajmeri, like Imam Ghazali has also allowed to some extent. Imam Ghazali, Ihya al-Ulumuddin, great Imams, Imam Data Ali Hujwairi, they have all spoken and mentioned that the use of music is allowed, but they have set strict restrictions. Their conditions are very strict. Their conditions is, for example, if someone is doing, like in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, they are using the daf, or they are using musical instrument with nasheed, in that gathering, men and women must not be mixed. They must be separate, sitting to each other. Today, if you look, even concerts of Mahir Zain, I was in one of the concerts in Dublin. And when I was there, even though I do listen to nasheeds, when I was there, I said, this is absolutely not allowed. Because there I saw men, women together, women dancing almost, jumping, moving, and the men were looking at them. Subhanallah, that is what Qadri al-Jilani said, that any gathering where there is ghina, but it is good, like nikah, like marriage ceremony, for example, he says, but it stops you from fulfilling your obligation to Allah. Then salat, you are so much listening to it that you forget it's time to pray and you delay the prayer. He says even that normally is allowed, that becomes for you qabih. It becomes not allowed, it becomes evil for you. So you should not then listen to it. So here you see, it depends. For each person, it is different. The use of music is different.